What's up everyone? Welcome to my first VGC experience. So, the first Pokemon I kind of wanted to try and use was Mega Hawlucha. Haven't seen much talk about him online, and he's one of my favorite Pokemon, so just wanted to try and make him work. So, the concept or the idea I was going for here was I have Whimsicott. I would use it to set up a Tailwind, and then I would set up a Swords Dance on Hawlucha and kind of use that to try and sweep. But since this is kind of my first time in really doing doubles, I didn't really put much thought into my EV spread. I kind of went with the typical like singles EV spread. So as you see here, I go ahead and Mega, and I go to use the Tailwind here. Here I'm like, okay, cool. The beginning of my strat is going good. I got the Swords Dance off. And I completely forgot that Arcanine had access to Play Rough. So that did a lot of damage, and I'm not invested defensively at all. And I get hit by the Sandstorm, so this is already not looking good. So I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, I can land a hit off with Hawlucha just to kind of get some benefit from the Swords Dance and the Tailwind that I set up. So I go for the Moonblast on the Tyranitar and then Flying Press on the Arcanine. And then again, it's been so long since I battled, and Arcanine has extreme speed. So there goes my whole, you know, plan to try and use Mega Hawlucha just out the window. And land a Moonblast does a decent amount, but I get killed by a Fire Punch, and even if I survived, I probably would have been killed by the Sandstorm. So already not looking good. I'm already 2 Pokemon down, and I have Incineroar and Rotom in the back. So I went with Incineroar for this team because I thought with Hawlucha's weaknesses to like Psychic, I could probably switch in Incineroar. So here, at this point, I'm kind of like, well, this is over. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to turn this around. So I go with the Hydro Pump on the Arcanine. Does a good amount. Now I was excited because I was like, okay, perfect. He's in Sandstorm range. This is perfect. But he has a Citrus Berry, which is unfortunate. I go with the Stomping Tantrum on Incineroar. Does a decent amount. Still not dead. And they go ahead and use Knockoff on my Incineroar, which gets rid of my Citrus Berry. And then Arcanine uses Bulldoze, which is going to lower my Incineroar speed, which is quite unfortunate. But he does kill his own Tyranitar, so that was a nice win for us. He kind of gave us that kill. And we have the lefties on the Rotom, so we don't really have to worry about the Sandstorm. And here I'm wondering, what is he going to bring out? So they're thinking, and then they bring out Sylveon. So my idea with this next move is I'm just going to go all in on Sylveon, because I'm assuming, like, I'm not too worried about the Arcanine with Incineroar here and Rotom. So I was just thinking, yeah, let's just go all in on the Sylveon, because that might be a problem if it's like sets up Calm Mind or something like that. Goes for the extreme speed. I am invested in HP for my Incineroar, so he is kind of bulky. Hit the Hydro Pump, does 30%, and then we get the Flare Blitz on Sylveon, which is perfect. So we knock out the Sylveon. So now things are kind of looking like they're back in our favor. We do get the recoil damage, unfortunately, and then the Sandstorm. So I already know that the next turn they're going to use Extreme Speed on my Incineroar to knock it out. So this seemed like the perfect time to go ahead and hit a Discharge on Rotom to hit both of the opponents at the same time. So they protect on Frostlass. Now I was kind of expecting a Mega from Frostlass, but it doesn't look like they're running a Mega. Maybe they just didn't buy the Mega Stone or have the points, not too sure. But we have the Discharge, it goes through. And so we went from a 2v4 down to a 1v1. So we kind of turned this around pretty well. So here, same thing, I'm just gonna go Discharge. They're gonna Shadow Ball. They get the special defense drop. Now, I started worrying here with the special defense drop, especially if with the potential crit. So I do have Protect. So since I have leftovers, I was like, let me just play it safe and Protect, get some HP restored, and just kind of see what this person is trying to do, what moves they might have. So we got the lefties. And then I go ahead with another Discharge. Since I did 49%, I'm thinking maybe I got a low roll, and this next one should kill it. They go ahead with Blizzard. We're surviving pretty well. Go with the Discharge. And then we're just short of killing them. We get our lefties recovery. And again, playing it safe, I went with another Protect just in case a crit Shadow Ball would kill me. Kind of stalling things out, unfortunately, but my first VGC experience, so kind of wanted to try and make sure we got the victory. So then, yep, we get our last Discharge. They go for a Shadow Ball here, if I remember correctly. Go for the Shadow Ball. Hit about like 50, and then they get another special defense drop. But luckily, they are dead from the final Discharge. So yeah, that was my first battle. We're gonna be moving towards a second battle that I think is a bit more interesting with some of the choices. So yeah, let's go on to the second battle. So here we are with the second match, and pretty much went with the same team, just trying to figure out how to get this to work, or even see if it works at all. Looking into their team, it seemed like Incineroar was a good pick. They have a lot of fire types, and then they have the Aegislash in there as well, so I thought that was a good pick. So same concept, we're gonna try and see if we can get Mega Hawlucha to work. And with Mega Hawlucha, it actually has no guard, so things like Stone Edge, Rock Slide, things with, you know, lower accuracy are guaranteed to land. So here we go, and I'm trying the same thing. I want to set up the Tailwind. Now, I'm a little scared of the Talonflame, because I'm thinking a Brave Bird is potentially coming my way. So I decided to switch into Incineroar just to get a Intimidate off. Set up Tailwind, but they also set up the Tailwind, so it just kind of cancels each other out. And then Aegislash goes for a Flash Cannon on the Whimsicott. Now luckily we have the Focus Sash. And I am more physically invested instead of specially defensive invested. So here I'm thinking, okay, he used Flash Cannon. I'm gonna use Encore to trap him into Flash Cannon so that I can land a, Darkest Lariat or Flare Blitz on the Aegislash. But since I've been so, gone away from battling for so long, I didn't realize that the King's Shield would come off first before the Encore. So the King's Shield, we get our attack drop, and I decide, okay, let's go into Rotom. Since I can land a good Hydro Pump on the Talonflame. And then here, I decide just go into the Aegislash since he already King Shielded. So I'm confused on the Talonflame. I don't even know if this is a bot or not. It doesn't seem like it, because I'm kind of confused about the quick attack versus using another move. So the Aegislash goes and uses Substitute, but we're just going to break that with our Flare Blitz. Take our recoil damage, and it looks like Aegislash also has leftovers, so it seems like it's trying to do the substitute King Shield attack every now and then with leftovers. It's a setup I do remember from back like X and Y days. So here I'm kind of wondering, okay, what else do they have in the back? What are they going to bring in? So they bring in Dragonite. So here, I'm predicting that they are going to King Shield with the Aegislash again. So I'm going all in on the Dragonite. So I'm going with a Will-O-Wisp on the Dragonite. And then with Incineroar, I'm going with a Darkest Lariat on the Dragonite as well. So here, yep, I predicted correctly. They did King Shield. And then they use Extreme Speed on the Rotom, but I am built defensively, and then we land the Will-O-Wisp. So here I'm like, okay, perfect, we landed the Will-O-Wisp. I don't have to worry too much about this Dragonite. It's not really much of a threat to me. And I have Incineroar for the Aegislash, so I'm thinking we're in a good position. I think the battle is in my favor. And then now the Tailwinds have petered out, which doesn't really make much of a difference. So here, I decide, okay, I don't have to worry about Dragonite, so I'm just going to go all in on the Aegislash. And then we'll see if they stay in, but they decide to switch out and go into Greninja. So now this is actually a good swap for them because I am using 2 attacks on that slot that Greninja resists. So go with the Hydro Pump, does 30%. Go with the Darkest Lariat as well. Bring them down to about 45. And now here I'm wondering, because Greninja, from my memory, is usually always a problem, especially with Protean. And I want to keep my Incineroar specifically for the Aegislash. So I decide, let me just Hydro Pump again and then switch over to Hawlucha. because I definitely want to try and keep this Incineroar alive. And they'll go ahead and Mega Evolve with their Greninja, which started worrying me for a second, because I wasn't sure what they were going to use. They keep using Extreme Speed on the Dragonite, but it's not doing too much. Again, I'm not worried about the Dragonite at all, really. So they go ahead and use Sludge Wave, take a decent amount on the Hawlucha, and then I used the Hydro Pump, but it misses. I didn't want to use Discharge because I was planning for Hawlucha to swap in, so I didn't want to kill my own Hawlucha. So here I'm like, okay, that's unfortunate. We missed the Hydro Pump. That's some good damage that we could have gotten off. So here I decide, okay, I don't want to really risk losing or missing the Hydro Pump. So I decide to go back into Discharge and swap back out into Incineroar. My thought process was, you know, the Dragonite's not going to do too much damage. If the Greninja attacks, I'm assuming it might go with like an Ice Beam or something on the Hawlucha slot. And at least the Intimidate helps get some, you know, reduction there. And we do predict the Ice Beam, so that was a good switch. And then we go with Discharge. Luckily, I do have the Citrus Berry on the Incineroar, so we get some HP back. And we got the lefties on Rotom. So now here, I'm thinking, okay, I can afford another Discharge on Incineroar and not really have to worry about dying, because I am invested in HP. So then we'll see what they do next here. So they go for the King Shield. I was kind of expecting that, but there wasn't really much for me to do because I already knew the Discharge would kill the Greninja. So they use a Surf. That does a good amount to Incineroar, but we're still in a good health window. Discharge goes off, we kill the Greninja, and then Incineroar is at 23 HP. Now, I'm still thinking that when the Dragonite comes in, that Incineroar would live a Extreme Speed. That's what I was thinking. So I wasn't really planning to switch out my Incineroar. So they bring the Dragonite in. And here, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to go all in on Aegislash because I'm really not worried too much on the Dragonite. And I don't want to try and focus the Dragonite and then they get a substitute off on Aegislash. But they use Draco Meteor. So it looks like he's a mixed attacker. So Incineroar's dead. And then I land the Hydro Pump on Aegislash. And I believe they go for, they go for a Shadow Ball. And bring Rotom down to a relatively low HP. So now we are going to bring in our Hawlucha, which still have not gotten it to really do much in its Mega form. I'm still kind of learning how to build teams. But here I'm like, okay, same thing, go for Aegislash, and here I'm going to Mega Evolve and use Rock Slide. And with the burn and special defense drop, special attack drop from Draco Meteor, I wasn't too worried. I was thinking I could at least definitely survive another Draco or E-Speed. And with the Mega Evolution, we do get the increased defenses. So we see the Draco come out. And we live at 17 HP. So there is a good chance that if I didn't Mega, that Hawlucha would be dead. So land the Rock Slide, kills the Dragonite, and we got a crit on the Aegislash. There's a chance that that crit mattered, I'm thinking. But we land a Hydro Pump, and Aegislash is dead. So this is my second battle in the kind of VGC format. Still kind of learning. I'm definitely going to plan to hop on stream and do some live battles there. But yeah, let me know what you think, if you have any tips or tricks, you know, as someone who just started. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one.